Well, hello there, and welcome to another beautiful night for an adventure from the couch here on Tommy Travels the Second. Tonight was going to be a Netflix roulette type of night, but I decided to change things up a little bit and actually cover a topic instead. And the reason I changed it up is because this is a good night to do that. It's a Monday night. We just hit April 1st now. We are well out of the holidays. There hasn't been a lot of national days off unless you took personal vacation or sick time. And this is the time of year where you can start to feel a little bit of a burnout. And so I just wanted to talk about how I deal with it, get suggestions from you as to how you deal with it, and should be an interesting conversation tonight. So if you are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing. And I will see you right after this. And so, if you're the type of person who lives a life of leisure and never feels burnt out because you can always just do whatever it is that you want to do, congratulations. You are one of the lucky few. If you've got some special tips or tricks to tell us how to do it, please leave a comment below because I'm sure everyone could benefit from that kind of information. But for the rest of us, this is about those times when you don't hate what you do, you like your job, you like your activities, you like your life, but it just gets so busy that sometimes you feel just burnt out. It's one of those feelings that comes especially on a Monday. You've had a great weekend and got all the relaxation and rest in during the weekend, and then all of a sudden it's back to work and everything just comes avalanching down on you. So tonight I want to just talk about a few things that I can think of to help manage stress and burnout feelings when they come along. And part of it just sort of depends on how bad it is. There are different levels of feeling burnt out or stressed, and what you do can depend on what level of stress. And it can be anything from taking a few deep breaths to, maybe it's time to get some professional help. There's a whole wide range in between there. And I think we're going to stop short of getting the professional help ideas because I'm not qualified to give any type of professional help. But if you do need that, please seek it out. But most of the time, you can get things cured below that level. And that's what we want to talk about here tonight. And so my first suggestion for dealing with feelings of burnout is kind of counterintuitive to what you would think, because it could be doing more of the same thing that you're already burnt out from. And this is when the burnout level is relatively minor. It's a Monday type of burnout, or I'm just kind of fed up with things right now. Kind of that level, the beginner's level of burnout is what I would call it. If you're in that phase, sometimes just keeping busy will snap you out of it. If you're idle and you've got nothing to do and your thoughts have time to brew in there and just get your mind all messed up about how burnt out you are and how you don't want to be here, it can snowball into something bigger than it needs to be. So those are the times where it's a good idea to jump into a longer phone call or a report that you need to get done or something that's going to occupy and focus your mind towards a project or an activity having to do with work, and something that might take you a half an hour or an hour of continued focus. And while you're doing that, what happens? Your mind all of a sudden kind of pops away from the feeling of burnout to getting this stuff done, and it snaps you right out of it. And like I said, it's for lower levels of the burnout feeling, but it's a pretty effective way to kind of get past it. Now let's move up a level on the chart to right there. That's where distracting your mind by focusing on the very work that you're already burnt out from isn't going to work. We're beyond that level now at this point. And so that brings us to a topic that I talk about quite a bit on this channel, and that is a mini mental vacation. And mini mental vacations can do wonders for your mind if you know how to do it. And some people don't, though. They're just, I go to work, I go home, I go to work, I go home, I sleep, and that's it. But if you can get some time, even during work, if you can get a 10-minute break or a 15-minute break and walk outside, feel the sun on your face, you can pretend you're on a tropical island for a minute, just let all your problems just go away, have a little bit of time to step away from it all. And I do the same thing during the winter. It's snowy and cold here all the time, so I go to the Como Zoo Park and Conservatory and see some tropical plants and animals and fish, and just for a little bit, and then I feel like, okay, I feel like I just got off vacation and I'm ready to take on life again. And you can do the same thing in whatever way gets you away from it all and makes you feel good for just even 15 minutes is perfect. And then you'd be surprised how much of a difference a little mini mental vacation can make for you. And so now let's move it up a notch to right here. This is where a mini mental holiday isn't going to do it for you either anymore. You've got a lot of stuff going on in the personal life, you've got a lot of stuff going on in the work life, and the idea that, hey, why don't you step outside and pretend it's a tropical paradise? That's not going to do it for you. If you're in that situation, that means you're at this level. It requires a little bit more drastic of an action. And sometimes venting it out with somebody is a good idea. If you have a coworker that understands what you're going through, or if it's a personal life, friend or family member, or just somebody that you can kind of talk it out with. The mini mental vacation thing is nice. You could do that if you want, but really, sometimes it's better if somebody else knows what you're going through. They could say, yeah, man, I'm right there with you. Trust me, I know what you're going through. And if you know that somebody else is going through the same thing and they can kind of tell you what they're doing to deal with it, and hey, but everything's going to be okay because this is happening and this is coming up, and somebody makes you feel a little bit better, sometimes that can really do wonders for you and turn your attitude around and go, okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Thanks for that, bringing me up a little bit. I can move forward now for a little bit and go from there. So now you have tried distracting your mind by diving back into a work project. And you have tried a mini mental vacation, and neither of those things worked. You've even tried venting it out to a trusted coworker or family member or friend, and you still feel like you're in the rut. Well, now you look at your vacation time and you realize, oh my gosh, it's still another month before I have any vacation coming up, and I'm gonna go crazy. If you're feeling like that, that means you're probably up here on the burnout meter. And that's not a good place to be. And it might be time to take the more drastic measure of taking a mental health day. And mental health days, they're kind of frowned upon in America. Because if you're going to take a day off in this country, you pretty much have to be sick. That's why everybody calls in sounding like Rocky Balboa all the time when they're not coming into work. It's always like, supervisor, I can't come in today, I'm feeling really sick today, I'll be in tomorrow. That's what everybody does. I have a sore leg and I sound like Rocky Balboa, so I'm not coming in. But I think, well, that's a whole nother topic. America should put more of an emphasis on mental health days, so people don't have to experience the large amounts of burnout that we have as it is. But that's for a whole nother show. But it might be time to just take a day off to collect your thoughts, get some things done around the house, some of the things that are really nagging at you. Sometimes crossing a few of those off your list can really help feel like, okay, I'm getting ahead of the game now, I can deal with it again, or just maybe you need some time to just relax and not care about a thing. Sometimes those days are good as well, and we don't get enough of them. And so that would be my next suggestion, is to take a mental health day and just step away from things and get your mind back to being on track. So now you've done everything up to and including a mental health day. You took an extra day off during the week when you could have been working, but you needed it to just kind of get some rest and step away from things for a while. And you get back to work and you find that still didn't work. It lasted for maybe a day or two, and then you're right back into the rut. Well, now it might be leading towards something worse than what I want to deal with on this, but it means you're up here on the old burnout meter, and that's definitely not a good place to be. And so if it's a month away from your next vacation days, you may want to look at how many vacation days you have and what's going on with that, because there is a lot of Americans that sadly don't use all of the vacation that they have coming to them. The year will be over and there'll be vacation that they lost out on. And so I'm not saying that you're that type of person. You might be right on top of it, but there's a lot of people out there who are not. And so if you have a vacation day where you could take a Friday and a Monday off, a couple of them, and make a nice little 4-day weekend, that can do wonders, because during that 4 days you could go out on a Friday night, you could do an actual vacation, you could go to another state and spend a couple nights there and get back, recoup on Monday, and really you could have a nice little vacation. Nothing very expensive or anything. It doesn't have to be. If you're going to just a regular hotel in another town, in another state or upstate or whatever, it can do a world of difference. And so look at your vacation time and see what you can do to get a little mini vacation. Not a mini mental vacation, but a 3 or 4 day weekend can really help you out. And then here are a couple of other little bonus ideas to help keep you from moving up the chart of the burnout meter in the first place. And one of the things that I was thinking about is when you're in a rut, a lot of times it means you're doing the same thing every single day, day in and day out. You're getting up, going to work, coming home, doing all the same things. If you could try to change up your routine a little bit, that can really help. Because that routine thing is nice for a lot of people. It's a comfort zone because you know your schedule, you know what's coming up, it's very predictable, but it's also part of what gets you burnt out. So take a different way to work. Eat something different for breakfast, or do something different for lunch. If you normally stay in, go out for lunch. Or change up your routine at the office. If you check your emails the first thing in the morning, do something other than that. Check your emails a little later and do something else first, or do, whatever it is, change it. The more you do that, the more your mind kind of gets out of the frame of, oh, here we got to do this again. It changes it up. It can help snap you out of it. Also, the other thing that I was thinking about as well is try to insert some fun into your work and into your life. It doesn't have to be at work. If it is, there's plenty of ideas that you could do. Create a contest of some kind just to make things interesting. Make a bet with somebody. I'll bet I could do more than whatever than you can by the end of the day. Or, get a deck of cards. Say every time you do this, then we'll play a game of poker or blackjack or something like that. There's all sorts of ideas out there to insert some fun into work and make things a little bit more interesting and kick you out of the rut. Or at home, you can change up some things at home with the way you're doing things and insert some fun in your home life as well. Just do something different, something that you enjoy. Say, I'm going to take 15 minutes out or a half an hour out, and I'm going to watch a TV show that I really like, or I'm going to read, or I'm going to do this on the computer, or it's just something for you to enjoy. Nothing bill related or chore related, just a little bit of time for you to make things fun. Or I'm going to get this much stuff done and then I'm going to do this as a reward. These are all little ideas that help change things up in your mind and help get you out of the routine and the sameness of the stuff that you deal with day in and day out. And those are just a few suggestions for what you can do. And if there's other things that you can think of like that, please leave a message in the comments below, because I think we all deal with this from time to time, and the more information we can have about it, the better. And so if you've gone all the way up the chart and you've tried all of these suggestions and nothing brings you back down into, okay, I can deal with this now. If you can't get yourself at that point and none of those suggestions work, that might be a sign that there is a bigger problem than just burnout. And you may want to take some time and evaluate what's going on in your life. And, as far as your job, is that the problem, or is it something in your personal life, or what is it that's happening? And that is not something I want to get into today, because I'm not a professional, but that's the point where you might want to take a closer look at what's going on and make some more drastic changes than anything that I've talked about here in this video. But if this helps somebody, somebody that's feeling this same way, and you can use one or two of these ideas and it helps you, then this video has done its job. And you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been an absolute blast. On this Monday evening, we've dealt with a little bit of burnout. And if you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe and the little bell notification next to it so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. And thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me so far. And until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side. And I thought a good topic to cover tonight is burn good. But then I don't know what I'll do. You've tried a minty?